Hey everybody, this is Rudy for Bester Investor, and what I thought today is, since some of you are calling me Mr. Oxy, I'm going to reciprocate and take a little bit of time to share some of your opinions and comments that you've shared with me on Occidental, because that way we can all learn from one another, but not everybody sees all the comments because they relate to different videos. So I thought I'd put one video together and capture some of the comments, and maybe we can talk through a few of these topics in a little bit more detail, which is easier than typing one-line comments on the YouTube website. So first off, thank you very much for all the contributions in the chats. I do appreciate it, and as you can probably tell by now, I try and respond to almost every comment. Mr. Poet, thanks for pointing out to me that you don't believe that Oxy will drop to $8 or $11. This relates back to the last video that I posted where I was doing an analysis on the analysts, where CFRA said that their target price on Oxy is $11, and Credit Suisse went a little further and said it's $8. But as I pointed out in that video, schmanalyst, all they do is they say the target price is, and if the particular issuer underperforms or overperforms, then they just make an adjustment on their target price. They don't really care. It doesn't really matter. And then KCCN said, I've lost a lot of money on Oxy. So I thought I would just comment to that, because when you're invested in a publicly traded stock, you don't lose any money unless you sell at a loss. So I have positions that are underwater on a regular basis, and effectively I have three choices. I can either do nothing, or otherwise I can buy some more because it's cheap, or otherwise I can exit the position and take a loss. So if you're taking a loss on Oxy because Oxy is cheap right now, you're taking a loss because you're selling. You're making a decision to actually take a loss, which is fine. I mean, obviously you need to do whatever fits your investment thesis best. But at the end of the day, like for an investor like me, in this case, I'm long Oxy. If the price drops further, or even if it stays at around $13, I might add to my position and not sell at a loss. So I'm not taking a loss. But by the way, KCCN is also very positive and says, hey guys, by next week, which is the week of August 25th, Oxy will go up. So let's see if KC is going to outperform the analysts who think it's just going to go down, down, down. And then Daewoo Cho from Korea communicated with us via YouTube, and I can't believe that you guys don't understand Korean. I mean, come on. But I translated it, right? Well, actually, I didn't translate it at all. Google did. So Daewoo says, I've subscribed and I'm an Oxy shareholder. Do you think now is the bottom? What do you think? Well, if I knew the answer to that, then I'd have a crystal ball, and I don't know the answer to that. So I can't say that this is the bottom. It may go lower. I'm not sure it's going to go to like $8 as Credit Suisse had predicted, but it could still go a bit lower. I don't want to see it at $9 again, like it was in March. So I'm hoping it's not going there, but nobody knows, right? Anyway, my reply, which obviously if you can sort of see at the back, was also in Korean, thanks to Google Translate. I said I can't imagine Oxy going much lower. There's no reason. I think Q3 would be good. The oil price is over $40, and Oxy is pumping more than 1.4 million barrels per day. We know they're profitable at $40 because they were actually profitable at about $31. So, can the share price go lower? For sure. Is Oxy making money at $40? For sure. We have to acknowledge that the share price doesn't always reflect the standing of the company in terms of its fundamentals. Gabe sent me a nice note. He says, I've been following Oxy for a few years now. It's amazing to see your videos on it. Thank you. Well, Gabe, thank you for that comment. I appreciate it, and I'm very happy to learn that you're following me. SS said another lockdown will definitely bury Oxy. Now, here he's talking about COVID-19. So, I don't really know what will happen with COVID-19 because I'm not a politician. But what I do know is that COVID-19 has been blown out of all proportions. The death rate is actually so low on COVID-19 that it's almost a non-event. So I have great sympathy for people who have lost loved ones or people who have died. That's very sad. At the same time, one could say the same about motor car accidents or suicides or death by cancer or tuberculosis or whatever the case might be. So I'm not I'm not buying into this whole thesis of COVID-19 being the worst pandemic we've seen since the 1918 Spanish flu. What's really good about SS's comments is he says, I hold OXY at 21.8 for now, so $21 or thereabouts is a really good deal. Good luck to you, SS, and good luck to all of us in terms of this COVID plandemic or scamdemic or whatever you want to call it. Hope everybody stays safe and keeps well. Suggested resources. So every time I read some of your letters, I learn something new. Robert Burke wrote a week ago, and he said, I listened to Charles Nenner. I personally never heard of Charles Nenner before, so it's really cool to learn some stuff from you. He says he makes interesting graphs and future lines up and downs on stocks, etc. He also likes Exxon, XOM. So I don't know Charles Nenner, but it's an interesting resource. So you guys may want to check out Charles Nenner. However, I do know Carl Icahn. Well, I don't know him personally, but I do know about him. And Adi Schemler mentioned Carl Icahn's open letter. In fact, he's written a couple of open letters about Occidental. We'll come back to Mr. Icahn in just a minute or so, but yeah, you know what? If Carl is in on the deal, I'm happy to be in on the deal. I like Carl Icahn as an activist investor. So I got an interesting note here from Joe Huerta. It says, I used to work for OXY. I'm a huge investor in it. Best of success with that, Joe. I'm also a huge investor in it, or everything being relative, of course. I'm not as huge an investor as Carl Icahn, but I hold a reasonably substantial position in OXY myself. He makes the comment here that OXY paid Buffett in stock. So I thought, I would just talk about this one for a second, because Buffett has these preferreds which Occidental used to finance the acquisition of Anadarko. About $10 billion dollars worth of preferreds that has a coupon of 8%, and OXY, being cash strapped, has been paying him the quarterly dividend in common stock. Well, Berkshire Hathaway doesn't want OXY common stock, so if they get a dividend paid in common stock, they just sell it. So for the people who are stressed because Berkshire Hathaway have been selling OXY common, it's because Berkshire Hathaway want their 8% coupon on the preferreds in cash. They don't want stock, so every time they get common stock, they just sell it. So in the last quarter, they sold the position they had before, which was about 4-point-something% of OXY common. And then on July the 15th, which was the last dividend date, Berkshire received like another 200 million or so in common stock. So don't be surprised if every quarter you see they receive common and then they just sell it. Anyway, on a maybe lighter note, or if it makes you feel any better, we all as OXY investors receive warrants, and Berkshire Hathaway have 80 million warrants, which was part of last year's deal, which gives them a right to buy Occidental shares at $62.50 each. So, as I said, if it makes you feel better, just remember that our warrants allow us to purchase OXY common at $22 for the next 7 years. So, good deal, us. Nice deal on the warrants. OXY and climate change. This is an interesting topic for me. CO2 is a religion for some people. What I want to suggest you do, if you're interested and if you have time, is Google, or otherwise just go to OXY's website. but you can Google OXY, EOR. EOR is for Enhanced Oil Recovery. So Robin O has been communicating with me a bit on a variety of different topics. He also, we talked a little bit about OXY's new business venture, which Occidental is funding as part of their ventures funding, which will use their EOR process to boost production. And my comment to Robin was that Oxy is in the forefront on matters like these. In fact, if they package the EOR solution really eloquently and efficiently, they can sell it to any other oil company that is extracting oil from the Permian Basin or the Canadian tar sands or whatever the name is for it. That's not politically incorrect. But yeah, EOR is big business. So if you don't know about Occidental's enhanced oil recovery, maybe take a bit of time, Google it, look it up. I get many questions and comments about insider trading. So I covered this in a previous video just a couple of while back, and then just a couple of days ago. And Jimmy said Steve Chazen, who's the chair of the board, sold about 50,000 shares on the 29th of July. I couldn't find that transaction, but I do know that Steven sells and buys Occidental shares on an ongoing basis and holds about, from memory, about 7 million shares of Occidental. So don't be surprised if you see Steve as an insider buying and selling Oxy. He does this all the time. But I did look up the insider trades on the previous video that I made, and on the Vickers analyst report, they actually follow insider trading, and the only insider that sold a large number of shares was Oscar Brown, who sold about 82,000 over the period of March, April. Well, he was actually the guy who was fired. He was previously there. Occidental and Oscar Brown parted ways. His departure wasn't announced, but he was the guy who left the company, and he was instrumental in the Anadarko deal. So I wouldn't be surprised if the board, especially with Carl Icahn's new representatives on the board, had something to do with Oscar Brown's departure. But he's really the only insider at the time who made any significant trades. There have been some buys and sells, but nothing major. So Martin Lin wrote to me a couple of times via email, and he made a comment over here, and he says Carl Icahn's activism is good for Oxy in the long term. You know, I like Carl Icahn in any investment where I'm long because he's an activist who's actually involved. So we know that his board choice has got the green light. He's got 3 guys on the board. He's always involved. He made a comment over here, which I'm going to read to you quickly because it's really small. We believe Oxy is a good company with good assets, remarked Icahn, whose Icahn Group owns approximately 9.9% of the outstanding shares of Oxy's common. That was then. He's currently increased his holdings up to about 10.7, I think, close to 11%, which includes his warrants distribution. So, yeah, but I like the fact that Carl Icahn involved because he does stuff. He's not a passive investor like Berkshire Hathaway. He's more the traditional activist investor, but he stays with the stocks. You know, he's got some positions, even as an activist investor, where he's been in the stock for more than 10 years. So it's not as if he gets in, invests, flips, and exits. If he likes the company, he stays. I like Carl Icahn. Sam Red asked me a question about other sources of revenue, and I've now done several videos on Occidental. If you want a quick snapshot of Occidental, especially after their last quarter, you can look at this video. It's Oxy Q2 2020 in Technicolor. It contains a variety of different graphs that shows you Oxy's revenue, its operational expenses, its sources of revenue, etc. So thanks for the comment, Sam. Sometimes even I have to look back to some of the Oxy videos to see where the comments are that I'm looking for, but you can usually find what you're looking for in some of my older videos. So that's it, guys. This is sort of a summary of your thoughts and your comments. Thank you to everyone who's participating and contributing. We can all learn from one another, and I'm gonna obviously post this video, and then hopefully we can get some more comments going, and we can support one another as we watch OXY go from zero to hero over the next months or couple of years or so, and we can all generate some reasonably good returns as a result. This is Rudy for Best Investor signing off. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.